The wolf that bowed to a nobody. It was a quiet night in a small town outside Houston, Texas. The sky was dark. The stars twinkled like tiny eyes watching from far away. Everything felt normal. Until the ground shook. A loud boom echoed in the sky. People looked up and saw something falling, burning, glowing, crashing down fast. It was not a plane. It was not a meteor. It was something else. Miles away, in a dusty little garage, a human mechanic named Jared Knox was half asleep under a broken truck. Jared was the kind of man who fixed engines better than he fixed his life. He had no friends, no family, and no big dreams. Just him, his tools, and the same boring routine. Then the lights went out. His tools stopped working. The radio made strange sounds, like whispers in a language he didn't understand. And then silence. Jared stood up and wiped his hands on his already dirty jeans. "Power's out again, great," he mumbled, walking outside. And there it was. A large white animal stood in front of his garage. Its fur was pure and glowing like snow under moonlight. Its eyes were bright silver. It looked like a wolf, but bigger, stronger, and not of this world. Jared froze. The creature looked straight at him. For a few long seconds, neither of them moved. Then the wolf did something that made Jared's heart stop. It bowed. The sacred-looking creature, tall as a horse and glowing like a ghost, lowered its head slowly, as if it respected him. "What the hell?" Jared whispered. He took one small step back, unsure whether to run or fight. But the wolf didn't growl. Didn't attack. It sat calmly, watching him. Waiting. "Okay. All right," Jared said, holding his hands up. "I don't know what drug dream this is, but you seem chill." The wolf tilted its head, then walked slowly into the garage like it had been here before. Inside, it laid down next to a stack of tires and closed its eyes. Jared blinked. Seriously? Still unsure what was happening, he grabbed his phone to call someone. But it was dead. No signal. He checked the lights. Still off. Then the strange whispering came back, louder this time, coming from the radio. Suddenly, the wolf opened one eye. Its voice wasn't a bark or a growl, it was inside Jared's head. "Do not be afraid." Jared dropped the radio. "Okay. Telepathic wolf. Great. Just great." The voice spoke again, soft but powerful. "You are the chosen link. I have crossed galaxies to find you." Jared laughed nervously. "You've got the wrong guy, buddy. I fix mufflers. I live on microwave noodles. I sleep in my office." You are more than you know. Far across the stars, on a planet made of crystal towers and floating rivers, an alien throne room suddenly shook with energy. The alien queen, tall and regal with skin like violet marble, stood up fast. Her long silver robes flowed like smoke behind her. A priest rushed in. "Your Majesty, the bond has activated." The queen's eyes glowed. "Impossible. The sacred wolf has bonded with a human?" She turned and looked toward the sky. Show. A screen appeared in front of her, floating midair. On it, she saw Jared. Greasy clothes, confused face, holding a wrench like a weapon, and the sacred albino wolf, sitting peacefully beside him. The queen's jaw tightened. That man is nothing. How can the beast kneel to him? Back on Earth, Jared gave the wolf a piece of leftover sandwich. The wolf sniffed it, took a bite, and licked his hand. "I'm going crazy, right? Alien wolf, space voice, chosen one stuff, this is definitely a dream." But it wasn't. Outside the garage, in the woods nearby, something else had landed. A small pod opened. 3 tall alien hunters stepped out, holding weapons that glowed with fire. One of them raised a scanner. "Target located. The queen wants her beast back. Kill the human." Queen's fury and the summoning, the night didn't stay quiet for long. Inside Jared's garage, the albino wolf lifted its head. Its ears twitched. Its eyes turned sharp. "They are here," the voice echoed in Jared's mind. "Who's here?" Jared asked. already reaching for his wrench again like it was a magical sword. The hunters, sent by the Queen. They will not talk, they will destroy. Before Jared could ask more, the walls of his garage shuddered. Tools clinked. The hanging light bulb swung wildly. Outside, the ground began to glow. 3 large shadows stood at the edge of the forest, red eyes shining like warning lights. They didn't walk. They glided. Their feet never touched the ground. Each of them wore black armor that shimmered like oil in water. Their hands held strange weapons, long silver rods that sparked with red lightning. Jared stared, breath stuck in his throat. Are they here for the wolf? The wolf stood beside him, silent but tall like a white mountain. The voice came again. They are here for both of us. They see me as a traitor. They see you as disposable. Jared blinked. Wow. Okay, that's just rude. Suddenly, the door to the garage exploded inward. One of the hunters stepped inside, raising its weapon. Jared ducked just in time. Zerp! A bolt of red plasma melted the shelf where his favorite coffee mug used to sit. That was a gift, Jared shouted. The wolf lunged. A blur of white light and teeth, it crashed into the hunter like a missile. The creature slammed into the wall, howling in a strange metallic voice. Another hunter fired. The wolf dodged midair and pounced again. But the third hunter ignored the wolf completely. It walked toward Jared. Jared backed up, knocking over a barrel of oil. He grabbed a metal pipe and held it like a baseball bat. Look, I'm just a mechanic, okay? I didn't ask for the magical mind wolf. The alien didn't stop. Its weapon began to charge, and then boom! A burst of white energy exploded from the wolf's body, knocking all 3 hunters back. Jared hit the floor, ears ringing, chest shaking. When he opened his eyes, the garage was glowing with strange symbols. They floated in the air like smoke made of light. What is happening? The wolf stepped forward, breathing heavy. The bond is complete. You are now my link. Great. Does that come with health insurance? Meanwhile, on the far-off planet of Solaria 4, the alien queen stood inside the Hall of Ancestry. All around her, giant stone faces of old queens watched with empty eyes. She stared into the glowing screen again. Jared was alive. The wolf was fighting for him. Her priest trembled beside her. My queen, the wolf chose him, just like the prophecy said. The queen's voice was cold as space. He is not worthy. She turned and raised her hands. The room darkened. The statues began to whisper. A circle of fire lit up beneath her feet. I will summon the ancient flame. I will awaken the sleeping. Warriors. If the wolf obeys a human, then the stars themselves must burn. Back on Earth, Jared tried to clean the mess. His garage looked like a war zone. Okay, Wolfie, he said, panting. You want to explain what all that was? The wolf sat quietly, eyes closed. Then a strange buzzing filled the air. A small silver cube floated down from above. It was a drone, a Solarian beacon broadcasting across light years. It projected a message in the air. A hologram of the queen appeared, tall and terrifying. Human, you have taken what is sacred. Return the wolf, or your planet will suffer the wrath of the royal bloodline. Jared frowned. Wow, that's your queen? She sounds like my ex. The wolf let out a soft huff. Possibly laughter. But then something unexpected happened. The beacon glowed brighter and started scanning Jared. Symbols appeared across his skin, markings only visible under alien light. The wolf's eyes widened. No, it cannot be. What can't be? Jared asked. You carry the blood of the lost ones, the builders of stars, my creators. Jared blinked. I what now? In the skies above Earth, strange lights began to appear, stars that were never there before, not stars, ships, big ones. One by one, they came out of warp, silent, dark, watching. The invasion hadn't started yet, but the show had begun. Secrets of the sacred beast. The stars were no longer peaceful. Above Earth, alien ships hovered in perfect silence like sharks swimming just beneath the water's surface. People around the world stared at the sky with wide eyes and tight throats. But no news report could explain it. No satellite could identify the ships. In Jared's small garage, the only truth was the one he had just heard. He carried the blood of the lost ones. Jared sat on the floor, his hands shaking. The glowing alien markings still pulsed on his arms like living tattoos. "I fix engines," he whispered. "I replace brake pads. I watch cooking shows alone at 2 a.m. I'm not star royalty." The albino wolf paced slowly around the garage, its silver eyes locked on him. "Your ancestors built star roads, they shaped planets, they created me." Jared stared at the beast. "So you're telling me my great-great-grand whatever designed you?" "Not just me. All of us. The sacred beasts, living weapons, protectors of the crown. But after the War of 9 Moons, they vanished. Until now." The wolf stopped pacing and lowered its head. "I sensed your spark. Your blood called me. That is why I disobeyed the queen." Jared stood up slowly. "And what exactly does the queen want now?" The wolf looked toward the stars. "She wants your death, or your surrender, and she will not wait long." Far away, on Solaria, the alien queen stood in front of an enormous black vault. Its door was locked with 7 rings of light, each glowing, with ancient runes. Only the queen's blood could open it. She pressed her hand to the final seal. It turned red. The vault hissed and opened, revealing a cold, dark chamber. Inside were cages, and inside those cages were others like the albino wolf. Giant beasts, silent and sleeping. The queen whispered to her guards, "Awaken the dormants. If the Sacred One has betrayed us, we will raise his brothers to kill him." She turned her gaze to the stars, and the human will beg for extinction. Back on Earth, Jared couldn't sleep. His garage was half destroyed. The wolf had fallen into a deep trance, floating 2 inches above the floor, wrapped in a cocoon of silver light. And Jared? He sat with an old toolbox in his lap, flipping through something he hadn't opened in years, a journal, his dad's. Jared's father had been obsessed with space, not NASA-level obsessed. Crazy basement theories, alien symbols, crop circles obsessed. Jared had always laughed it off. But now, some of the symbols in his dad's sketches matched the glowing ones on his arms. He flipped a page. There it was, a symbol that looked exactly like the mark now burned into his palm. Next to it, a note in shaky handwriting. "The creators left, a seed. One of them lives on Earth. When the sacred beast kneels, the galaxy will change." Jared dropped the journal. "You've got to be kidding me." Suddenly the wolf opened its eyes, its body glowed bright for a moment, then dimmed. "They are coming. More alien soldiers." "No." The wolf stood up and stepped outside the garage. Jared followed. There, hovering just above the tree line, was a portal. A rip in space, swirling with red light, and stepping through it were 2 more sacred beasts. One jet black like obsidian with fire for eyes. The other blue like ice, its breath turning the air into snow. But these wolves didn't bow. They growled, and they looked straight at Jared. The white wolf stepped between Jared and the new beasts. They served the queen now. She awakened them from sleep and poisoned their minds. The fire wolf lunged. The white wolf leaped. They collided midair with a blast of light and energy that sent trees flying. Jared ducked behind a car, heart racing. This wasn't a sci-fi movie anymore. This was war. And he had no idea how to fight in it. As the beasts fought like living storms, the blue wolf charged straight at Jared. It moved like liquid steel. Jared reached for his wrench, like that was going to help. The blue wolf jumped, but froze midair. A sound, not loud, not deep, but old. A humming, coming from Jared's hand. His palm glowed again, and the blue wolf crashed to the ground, not hurt, but confused. It looked at Jared and whimpered. The white wolf spoke through the dust. "Your blood commands them. You can stop this." Jared blinked. "Me? I can't even pay my power bill on time." But the blue wolf crawled toward him and lowered its head. Then the fire wolf paused too. It stopped fighting and stared. Both wolves began to kneel. Even the queen, watching through her floating screens, gasped. "This is not possible," she said through clenched teeth. But something else was watching. Deep beneath the earth in a long-forgotten chamber, a single eye opened. Not a wolf, not a human, but something older, and it smiled. The invasion begins. The wind was still. Not a single bird sang. Not a single leaf moved. The entire forest outside Jared's garage had fallen into a strange, silent breath, like the world itself was holding it in. Jared stood between three sacred beasts now, the white wolf beside him, the fire-eyed and ice-breathing wolves kneeling before him. "Are they obeying me?" he asked, not quite believing it. The white wolf nodded slowly. "You awakened something ancient, a force even the queen cannot touch. You carry the key blood, the last spark of the first makers. The sacred ones were built to follow that spark." Jared looked down at his glowing palm. "So I'm basically, what? A walking garage code for space dogs?" The wolf didn't laugh, but it blinked once like a slow alien eye roll. Then the sky tore open. A vertical streak of red light burned across the clouds. The wind returned in a blast of heat. The sky, once full of stars, was now full of ships. Hundreds, maybe thousands. Like a metal storm, the Queen's Armada arrived. Jared's voice cracked. "She brought all of them?" "She fears you," said the wolf, "and she never fights fair." Above Earth, inside the Queen's flagship, the Crowned Blade, alarms echoed through golden halls. The Queen stood at the center of her throne, room, arms behind her back, face like cold marble. Her general, a tall creature made of bone and black armor, kneeled before her. "My queen, all ships are in position." The queen didn't blink. "Target the planet's pressure points, power grids, satellites, major cities. Do not fire yet. I want them to watch. I want the human to feel helpless." Her voice dropped. "Then we burn." Back on Earth, the fire wolf growled, looking to the sky. "If we wait, they will strike first." The white wolf turned to Jared. "You must choose. Lead us, or hide while your world is eaten." Jared clenched his fists. "I've never led anything but a broken forklift." The wolves said nothing. They simply stared. And that silence said everything. They didn't need a hero. They needed a spark. Jared took a shaky breath. "All right then, let's mess up some royalty." The plan was simple. Strike first. The sacred beasts could jump through energy paths left behind by the Queen's forces. Jared would ride with the white wolf, launching a surprise attack on one of the Queen's communication ships, disable the network, slow the invasion, give Earth a chance. But when the wolves leapt into the light, they weren't alone. The space around them bent, twisted, and something followed them. They landed on the enemy ship's hull. No sound, just endless space and the cold metal of the Queen's warship. Jared, in a pressure field created by the white wolf, whispered, "We're standing on a spaceship in orbit. That's definitely not in my job training." The wolves began tearing through the hull, carving an opening with claws and breath. Inside the ship, chaos broke out. Alarms screamed. Alien soldiers ran toward the breach. But as the wolves broke in, something else broke out. From a hidden chamber deep inside the ship came a fourth beast. It wasn't like the others. Its body was dark, not black but void, like it was made of missing time. Its eyes were red spirals, always spinning. It moved like a shadow on fast forward. The white wolf gasped. That one was locked away. It should not exist. Jared backed up. "Please don't tell me it's the Queen's secret weapon." "No. Worse. It's one of ours. Corrupted." The void wolf turned its head, and for a split second Jared saw his own face reflected in its eyes. And then it attacked. The battle inside the warship was a storm. Wolves clashed with roars and blasts of light. Jared ran through the corridors, avoiding fire explosions and collapsing walls. The corrupted wolf chased him, but it didn't want to kill him. It wanted to connect. Each time it touched the walls, they changed. The ship itself warped. Symbols twisted. Lights dimmed. It was rewriting the ship around Jared. On the bridge of the crowned blade, the queen felt it. Something was wrong. She grabbed the edge of her throne. Who released the forbidden one? The priest beside her gasped, "My queen, we didn't." Her eyes widened for the first time in centuries. Then it woke itself. In the warship, Jared was cornered. The corrupted wolf walked slowly toward him, head low, eyes never blinking, and then it spoke. "You are not a leader, you are a fracture, a weak piece in a dying story. Give up your spark." Jared raised his hand, and to his shock, it glowed stronger than ever before. "No, I might not be a chosen one. I might be a grease-covered loser from Texas. But I fix things. That's what I do." He touched the corrupted wolf's forehead, and something snapped. The creature screamed, not in pain, but in confusion. Its body flickered, and for a moment, it became a man, half beast, half human. He looked at Jared with sad, burning eyes. "We were brothers. Once." Then he collapsed into light and vanished. The ship buckled. Without the corrupted wolf's energy, it began to fall toward Earth. Jared grabbed the white wolf. "We need to jump. Now." The sacred beasts howled as one, and the light swallowed them whole. They reappeared back on Earth, just as the warship exploded in the sky, a falling star burning up before it could strike. People cheered. Around the world, hope returned, but in the sky, thousands of ships remained. The queen, now furious beyond reason, gave her final command. "Begin the full invasion. The human must die, even if the world burns with him." Rise of the mechanic, the hour. Sky was still burning. Pieces of the Queen's destroyed warship fell like fireflies across the world. People cheered, danced in the streets. News anchors called it a miracle. But Jared knew better. This wasn't the end. It was the warning shot. He stood outside the garage, still breathing hard. His clothes were torn. His body ached. His hair smelled like space smoke and wolf fur. Beside him, the white wolf stared into the distance, silent. Jared looked up. The stars weren't shining anymore. They were moving. Thousands of the Queen's ships had begun to descend. Not just to attack, but to occupy. "They're gonna crush us," Jared whispered. "Not if you become what you were meant to be," the wolf said softly. Jared snorted. "Yeah? And what's that? A space janitor with a magic palm?" The wolf stepped closer. "No. A mechanic of the sacred flame. The last of the starbinders." Jared blinked. "That sounds cooler than I expected." Later that night, in the deepest part of the forest, the wolves led Jared to a place older than time. A stone circle, hidden under moss and vines. Ancient ruins glowed faintly with blue light. Floating symbols lit the air like fireflies. "This place," Jared muttered. "It feels like it's breathing. It was built by your kind, long ago, before Earth was Earth." At the center of the ruins stood a strange machine, not alien, not human. Something in between. A forge, not made for weapons, made for people. The white wolf stepped back. "Touch the forge, accept the bond, but know this. Once you do, there is no turning back. You will no longer be just a man." Jared hesitated. "I was never just a man. I was the guy who fixed what no one else could. I guess it's time to fix the galaxy." He reached forward, and the forge came alive. Light surrounded him, not hot, not painful, but transformative. Symbols danced across his skin, wrapping him in threads of energy. Metal formed from thin air, wires, plates, gears, but not Earth. Tech alien, organic, alive. It shaped around his body like armor that remembered who he used to be, and who he would become. When the light faded, Jared stood taller, stronger. His eyes glowed softly. His right arm had transformed into a multi-tool bracer, a fusion of mechanics and biotech. On his back, small star drives hummed like a purring beast, waiting for command. The wolves lowered their heads. He was no longer Jared Knox, part-time grease monkey. He was now the flame-bound mechanic. Elsewhere, far above Earth, inside the Queen's flagship, a priest approached her throne. "My Queen, the forge has been activated." The Queen did not move. "Then we are out of time." She turned toward her generals. "Deploy the Black Suns." Everyone froze. The room went cold. "But my Queen," a general whispered, "they are unstable. Not even the sacred beasts could stop them." The Queen smiled. "That is exactly why I want them on Earth." The first Black Sun arrived 2 hours later. It didn't land. It crashed, tearing a crater into the center of Los Angeles. It wasn't a ship. It was a thing. A living weapon the size of a mountain. All sharp edges, red fire, and teeth that didn't make sense. Its body flickered between solid and smoke, and its voice was laughter. Jared watched the chaos unfold from a floating satellite screen. People were screaming, running. Earth's armies were useless. He stepped forward. "What is that?" The wolf looked grim. "That is what she kept hidden in the deep stars." The Queen never planned to conquer Earth, she planned to erase it. Jared nodded. "Then it's time I fix that too." He walked toward the teleport pad, now fully powered by his new suit. The wolves gathered behind him. "Where you go, we follow." Jared smiled. "We've got a galaxy to slap sense into." He raised his arm. Light surrounded them again, and the mechanic vanished into war but far beneath Earth. The being with the single eye, the one that smiled in the shadows, whispered a single word. Soon. The Queen's truth. The teleport beam hit the city like lightning. 1 second, chaos ruled. The next, Jared appeared, glowing with white fire, standing tall beside the sacred beasts. The flames from his new armor danced in the air like they had a soul of their own. People stared. Some froze mid-scream, others fell to their knees. They didn't know who he was, but they knew he wasn't from here. And somehow, that made them feel safer. Jared looked up at the Black Sun, the beast tearing through buildings like they were cardboard. It let out a shriek that bent car windows and cracked walls. "Big guy's loud," he muttered. "Let's make him quiet." The white wolf snarled in agreement. The pack charged. Meanwhile, in the orbiting warship, the Queen watched the battle unfold. Her face was blank, but her fingers drummed against the armrest of her throne. The priest, beside her, swallowed nervously. "The flame-bound mechanic has joined the battle." "I can see that. Shall we deploy more Black Suns?" "No," the Queen said quietly. "That would be wasteful." She stood and walked toward the glowing star map at the center of the room. "He has awakened the forge. He has taken command of the sacred beasts. And yet, he doesn't know the full truth." The map zoomed in, not on Earth, but on something buried under it. The Queen smiled. "Let him come to me. Let him ask me the question his blood is screaming to ask." Back on Earth, Jared and the wolves fought like a storm. The fire wolf melted the beast's limbs. The ice wolf froze its tendrils mid-swing. The white wolf leapt and bit deep into its neck. Jared leapt from rooftop to rooftop using his suit's pulse jets, launching energy blasts, redirecting collapsing debris to protect the people. But then, the beast did something unexpected. It stopped, not hurt, not defeated. It laughed, and then it said one word, in perfect, clear English. "Brother." Jared froze. "What did you just call me?" The Black Sun's mouth split into a sick grin made of smoke and wire. "You carry her blood." And his. The creature exploded in black fire, vanishing into ash, No body, no trace, just a message. The wolves regrouped around Jared, who stood motionless. He looked down at his hand. Still glowing, still pulsing, but now the light felt different. That night, Jared returned to the forge. The white wolf met him there. "You heard what it said," Jared said. "Yes." "Then tell me the truth." The wolf hesitated. Then it stepped forward, bowed its head, and finally spoke, not just in Jared's mind, but out loud. "You are not just descended from the Starbinders. You are the last of the royal line." Jared blinked. "The what now?" "The queen is your aunt. Half of your blood is hers." Jared's knees almost gave out. "You're joking." "No. She was the older sister. But your father? He chose Earth, chose peace. He fled the war, hid your existence, even from you." Jared shook his head, backing away. "That doesn't make sense. My dad was a mechanic, a nutcase. He had a beer gut and a coffee addiction, not a crown. He hid his power, even from himself. But it was there, buried under pain, under exile." Jared fell silent. The forge behind him flickered. "I have royal blood. You have a claim to the throne." Jared looked up slowly. "So that's why she wants me dead. Not because I'm dangerous. Because I could take her place." The wolf nodded. "And you are not the only heir." "What?" A new energy pulsed under the forge. A door opened. From the shadows stepped someone else, a young woman. Armor like the stars. Eyes like Jared's. She looked at him and smiled. "Hey, little brother." Jared's mouth dropped. "Excuse me. What now?" The woman stepped into the light. "I've been protecting the core beneath Earth, the Eye, the last ancient guardian. Dad told me to wait until the flame woke in you. And now..." She raised her hand, glowing like his. "We're ready." Far above, in her throne room, the queen stared into a mirror made of liquid starlight. Inside it, she saw them. Jared, the girl, the wolves, and the forge, now fully lit. The queen closed her eyes. "It's time," she said, "to end the bloodline, or be ended by it." She raised her arm, and the war horns of her entire fleet began to sound. The final invasion had begun. Bond Beyond Stars. The ground trembled. Across every continent, the Queen's warships broke through the clouds like thunder gods. Giant shadows passed over oceans and cities. People looked to the sky, not with hope this time, but fear. All communication was jammed. All satellites dead. Earth was under siege, but inside an old garage in Texas, where it all started, the last mechanic stood in silence, staring at the stars with glowing eyes. Jared. Beside him stood his sister, Rayla, daughter of exile, guardian of the Eye. Behind them, the sacred beasts lined up like warlords of legend. Fire, ice, light, bound to Jared, ready to die for him, and under the ground, the Eye, the last ancient force of the galaxy, pulsed like a sleeping heart. It was waking up. "I never thought I'd lead an army," Jared said quietly, tightening a brace on his armored wrist. "You never led one," Rayla said with a grin. "You fixed one." He smirked. "Same difference." The forge glowed. "You are not commanders," the White Wolf said. "You are bonds. You carry what was forgotten, what was forbidden. Now you must choose what to become." Jared looked toward the sky. "I choose to finish this." Above Earth, the Queen prepared for her final descent. Her ship, the Throne Fang, was no longer just a warship. It had merged with a living star core, pulsing, spitting light and dark together. The Queen stepped forward, wearing armor made of void metal, her hair floating as if space itself obeyed her mood. She opened a panel and spoke directly to Earth. Her voice rang through every screen, every device still alive. "People of Earth, you have harbored a traitor, a false king. You have forgotten your place beneath the stars. Today, I remind you. Today, I erase your sky." Then she looked at the stars and snapped her fingers. The invasion began. Thousands of dropships rained down like falling blades. Cities burned. Gravity shifted. Time even slowed near certain impact zones. The Queen was using forbidden tech now, but she made one mistake. She came for Jared first. The Queen's vanguard dropped near the forge site. Dozens of elite soldiers, biomech beasts, and 2 black suns, one rebuilt, one new. Jared didn't run. He walked toward them, one man. 4 wolves, one sister holding a weapon made of crystallized spacetime, and an ancient eye glowing behind them, humming a song that hadn't been heard in 1,000 star cycles. Jared lifted his hand, and the wolves vanished in a blink, teleporting mid-air into the army like ghost missiles. The Queen's soldiers screamed, and then Jared joined the fight. He was faster now, not because of the armor, but because the armor had become him. He could feel the air ripple before attacks landed, could sense energy before it sparked. He didn't just fight, he outmaneuvered the impossible. Every weapon he touched, rewired. Every enemy he faced, calculated. He was a mechanic, and the battlefield was broken, and he was going to fix it. But the Queen, she came down herself. Surrounded by an obsidian throne that floated, she landed in front of Jared like a shadow pulled from space. Her eyes, cold. Her voice, calm. "Hello, nephew." Jared's fists clenched. "You've got a real murderous ant vibe going on, and you have your father's stupidity. He chose peace, he died for it." Rayla stepped beside Jared. "No, he lived for it, and now we do too." The Queen raised a hand. "Then die for it." She summoned a weapon not built for war, but for finality. A staff made of dying suns, the unmaking rod. Jared stepped forward. No more speeches. The final battle was not a fight. It was a collision of wills. The Queen used everything. Reality folds, void bombs, time slashes. Jared used only what he knew. Intuition, grit, and the power of his bond. Every time he fell, the wolves pulled him up. Every time she struck, Rayla countered. And finally, when all was falling apart, the eye opened. A massive surge of light blinded the sky. The Queen turned, shocked. From the core of the earth, the galaxy's last truth rose. A being, made of pure code, pure memory, pure choice. It spoke in every voice that had ever lived. "Jared Knox, you carry blood of flame and wire. The throne is yours by law. Do you take it?" He looked at the world, at Rayla, at the wolves, and he whispered, "No, I don't want to rule. I want to rebuild." The eye paused. "Then what, do you ask?" Jared smiled. "Fix the galaxy, erase the war, set her free." The eye looked at the Queen. She screamed, not from pain but from release. The power left her like dust. Her armor cracked. Her eyes turned human, and she wept. The war ended. The ships vanished. The weapons fell. The sacred beasts howled one final time, not in anger, but peace. Jared stood in the light, tired, bloody, but whole. He didn't take the throne. He took a bench, built a workshop, and above the door hung a sign. "Mechanic of the Sacred Flame, we fix more than just ships."